Mike Pompeo, a great American. Thank you, Mike. Man, I am so glad to see you here in my hometown of Pittsburgh. You know, Mike and I went to West Point. You know, we had a lot in common. He was first in his class, and I was 501st. I want to ask you a question before we get started. Who's ready to put Donald J. Trump back in the White House and fire Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Get these guys out of here. They're killing us. And who is ready to retire Bob Casey and send Chuck Schumer packing? We got to do it. We got to do it. You know, ever since I can remember, I've had politicians come and say, this is the most important election of your lifetime. Who's heard that? We've all heard it so many times. But I want to tell you, this is the most important election of your lifetime. Just think about it. Can you think of a time where the consequences of getting it wrong were so terrible? Can you think of a time where America was teetering on the edge of the cliff, and if we put the wrong leaders in place, we're going to go over the cliff, and we're going to wake up one morning, and we're not going to recognize the America we love, the America we want for our children? This is the most important election of our lifetime. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. And you know, the choice in front of us could not be more clear. It couldn't be more clear. The choice at the top of the ticket is between strength, the guy you saw in Butler saying, fight, 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 and the weakness, the disgraceful weakness of Biden, Harris, and I'll throw in Bob Casey. Adversaries around the world are testing us. They're challenging us. They think America's weak because of the people that are leading America now. We need a change. But it's not just leadership. It's common sense. President Trump will do common sense things. It's common sense that you can't spend $5 trillion and not get huge inflation, skyrocketing prices that are killing working families. It's common sense you can't have a wide open border that's letting millions of illegal immigrants come into our country free. Criminals, murderers, rapists, people on the terrorist watch list, people carrying fentanyl. That's common sense. It's common sense that if you have the fourth largest natural gas reserves in the world right here under our feet in Pennsylvania, you got to drill it, you got to frack it. You got to put it in pipelines, and you got to share it with the world. And it's common sense that if you want peace, if you don't want the bullies on the playground pushing us around, you got to be strong. And the only way to have peace is strength. That's common sense. And in Kamala Harris, you have the weak, liberal, extreme agenda. Don't believe me, in her own words. In her own words, she wants to ban fracking and transition energy workers. In her own words, she wants to give citizenships to illegal immigrants and make sure they get federal benefits. In her own words, she wants mandatory buybacks of your guns. In her own words, she wants to defund the police. And in her own words, and this is the one that really ticks off my friends from Bloomsburg, where I grew up, she wants to reduce your red meat consumption. Come on. That's not going to fly in Pennsylvania, right? But listen, President Trump can't do it alone. We need a majority in the Senate. We need a strong leader in the Senate on behalf of Pennsylvania that's going to fight for you and put these common sense policies in place. And here you have another choice. It's a choice between change and the status quo. It's a choice between a seventh-generation Pennsylvanian, was born in Washington County, someone who played football and wrestled, in the summers baled hay, trimmed Christmas trees, busboy, paperboy, went to West Point where I wrestled, Ranger School, 82nd Airborne Division, combat tour in Iraq, and a successful business guy. That's what I represent. I represent change. And I'm running against a career politician, 30 years in elected office. When he was first elected, the Macarena was the #1 song on the charts. He has not done anything. When the bullets start flying, he ducks. And he votes 98.6% of the time with the liberal extreme Biden-Harris agenda. And you know what really ticks me off? Someone said to me the other day, they said, "Are you running for the Casey seat?" I said, "Hell no, I'm not running for the Casey seat. He's not entitled to this seat because his dad was the governor. He's not entitled because he's been there 18 years. He has to fight every day to represent Pennsylvania. He has to fight every election to have the honor to represent Pennsylvania. This isn't Casey's seat. This is the people's seat." And the people of our great Commonwealth deserve better than Bob Casey. And so that's why this election is so important. That's why what we do in the next 24 hours is so important. Right? I wrestled in college. I wasn't the best wrestler, but I always knew if I could get into the third period within a point or two, I'd win. Because the third period in wrestling, and we're in the third period right now, a couple seconds ago, the third period is not about wrestling. It's about mental toughness. It's about heart. It's about fighting for the last second until the buzzer goes. We need to do that. We need you in the next 24 hours, not just to vote. We need more than voting. We need you to tell 10 friends and 10 friends and 10 more friends. We need you to put up signs. We need you to say lots of prayers. We need you to do everything we can to take back our country. And if we do that, and if you do that, on November 6th, you're going to wake up, and you're going to look back on the day before, and you're going to say, on that day, that is the day that we put new leadership in place, that we changed the direction of our country, that we protected America for our children. Thank you. God bless you. Let's go make Pennsylvania great again. Thank you. Whatever it takes.